Hi there crafters, it's Louise with you. Thank you so much for checking out this video. It is an absolute pleasure to be guest designing for Australian company Paper Rose, and I am getting to explore and play with the Poppy Gardens collection. How beautiful are these embossed die cuts? I really think that they are just so pretty. They have that little pop of something extra with the embossing, and I do love these bright red colours, perfect for Anzac Day in Australia. So firstly, I'm going to show you the front and back side of the papers. This collection kit has 2 of each paper, so it's great. You don't have to make a choice between the front or the back. You get to use both. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you how I created my layout. Now, it is a tradition in our family that we attend the dawn service, and this year I was lucky enough to snap a couple of photos of our local service, and I felt so honoured to be able to use this collection, particularly in Australia, because we all know how important the Anzac spirit is to us, and having a collection where you can really document that is something super fun that I think a lot of you are going to enjoy. Now, at the moment in my crafting, I seem to be leaning a little bit more towards distressed edges. So I am spending quite a bit of time in my layouts having some form of distressing. So I like the bright red color of this patterned paper, this checkerboard, and I'm going to distress the edges and mount my photos. Now, sometimes a really busy background can be a challenge, but in this case, I decided to use this particular bright poppy field, and it was really the inspiration because of the sunrise or sunset, depending on how you look at it. And I think that it lends itself really well to these photos from dawn service. And I'm going to try and enhance those poppies just by using my craft knife and just cutting around and being able to slip my photo into the background. Now, I did pull out an old craft knife, and it has seen better days, and I had to go back and revisit my tools and find one that actually had a sharp blade. So once I finally got my blade situation sorted, the fussy cutting element or the cutting element was quite simple and easy. And I really think that not only does doing this allow me to really blend my photo quite well with my layout, there is actually a person standing in the photo, and I can cover that up quite easily by just tucking this into those floral layers, and you still get the full scope and picture of the completed background. All right, so this is looking really good. I know that I want to add some of the die cuts. It's just a matter of which one is going to work really well. And you certainly don't have to use this particular collection for an Anzac memory, but it would be perfect for that. And then the pops of red are really going to be great for all different kinds of layouts, particularly those butterflies. I think they're just so pretty and sweet. All right, so I'm going to pull out some more of these die cuts that I think lend itself to the dawn service a little bit. So we've got this chair, which I think is sort of a bit of a nod, or I sort of take it as a bit of a nod to those diggers that are at rest, and we're going to meet them in the sunset and really just sit with them and hear their stories. And then the book with the poppy I thought was beautiful as well. Now, I'm using some distress ink, so I'm using the antique linen, and this is purely just because I felt like the white was quite harsh. You can see that background paper, it has sort of a little bit of an off-white color to it, and by blending the edges with the distress ink, it sort of helps them to not stand out. It looks like they're really meant to be there. You could fussy cut them definitely if you wanted to remove some of that white space around them, but I didn't necessarily think that was what I wanted to do for my layout. I was quite happy just to ink those edges, and then a little bit of distressing on the florals with some foam mounting tape under as well. Now that I'm quite happy with how this embellished, I want to add some stitching. So I am only going to stitch around that top section, and I was a bit torn with colour. At the time, I went with sort of a blend of that golden hued background with the combination of the red, and I used an orange stitch. I think a black stitch would have worked really nicely, so that's something in hindsight I probably should have chosen a different color. The orange blends in quite a bit, but off camera I've gone ahead and stitched that, and then I needed a title, and on the back of the cover page for the collection from Paper Rose we get these sort of words, and I decided I was going to actually fussy cut them and get this really interesting kind of almost like a magazine letter cut out for my title, which is just nice and simple. I'm just going to call it Dawn Service. So that is just a very straightforward, simple layout with some fun techniques to really highlight this collection, and I can't wait to use it in some different ways. So I'm going to do some boy layouts, I'm going to do some animal layouts. I've got a great deal of ideas in mind. I do love the colors, and it just goes to show that even if something is particularly themed, there's always a way to spread it through our craft. To finish, I'm going to add a couple of these little butterflies, and then I'm done. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope if you're new here that you'll hit that little subscribe button, and of course if you leave a comment, it is always welcome.